Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I have several things to show you today and also some a fun project. So these are either bookmarks or page edgers. I was going to grab a journal here. And again, depending on the size of your journal, may depend on the size you want to make them. But these are going to be really fun to have to use to decorate pages in a journal. You could use them as belly bands. This is a different style that I've made. So just really, really cute additions, I think, to journals. So I hope you'll stick around and make some with me and pull out your scraps. You guys know I love a good scrap buster. Now, I have acquired some amazing laces and ribbons here recently, and I've done a few different sampler kits on my Etsy shop. I'm making some more because I'm going to show you something that came into my life here recently. But this one, I'm only going to have a few of these because I don't have a lot of each of these. Some I have a lot of, and some, like, I only had a little bit of this vintage velvet. It's in a really dark green. There's a navy wide grosgrain. Here's a really pretty lace. This is the kind of that double lace. I think I showed you guys this one before. Here's some of those rosettes in a fun color. This is a little blue flowers. And then this one has satin and lace stitched together. And of course you can pull it out and use smaller sections and get it pretty straight, I believe. And I just love this. It looks like a hand crocheted lace. Has a really nice texture, so little flowers. And then these were cut into, I don't know, maybe 10-inch strips. So instead of, because all of these are at least 12 inches, so a foot, and these were only about 10, so I'm putting 2 in there as a bonus. So there's 10 different kinds, and over 10 feet of ribbon. And this is what it looks like packaged. And so there will be some of these in my Etsy shop soon. I'm sure if they're not, they've probably sold out already, or that, you know, I'll have them up for this video goes live. But this is kind of what I'm pulling from. I acquired 3 big bags of laces and ribbons, and depending on the length, and there's really some fun neutrals, blacks. This one isn't that dark green. This one is a black. Anyway, I'm just going to put some samplers together. So you'll have to just look at the pictures and see, isn't this gorgeous, what the lengths are and what you're going to get. But I'm, you know, and it'll take me a while. I'll just kind of put them up as I go. If you follow my Etsy shop, you should get notified when new things are posted or listed. So anyway, I hope you guys are interested. I love it. And of course, I'll be keeping some for me to craft with, but I wanted to share these with you guys if you're interested. So anyway, that's what I'm using, and we'll grab some pieces today as we go, as we make some of these. And again, these are really easy. I'm using some craft cardstock for my backing. And I did want to point out, this one I actually laid on my sewing machine and sewed. I do not know how to film me at my sewing machine, so we won't be sewing today. But if you like that look, you know, don't forget you can sew on paper, and I do enjoy that look. So these I made around 8.5 inches. I think the ones I'm going to do with you now, we're going to do 8 inches, and you can do them different widths. This one started out like 1 3/4, and I think these are what, like 1 1/4, the backing. So again, we can do some different sizes. Why don't I do, I've got strings everywhere. I'm gonna do one that, again, that's that 1 3/4 width, and then this left me almost 2.5. So yeah, so I'll do, and I don't know if we'll do all 3, but maybe we will. And again, there's different ways to approach this. But an easy way to get some of this, I know some people say they have a little difficulty with this type of collaging or masterboard collaging. So one suggestion, and again, there's so many different ways to approach this, but you can start with like a strip of paper. All right, this one is almost the correct length, and layer it and then just add a few pieces on top, and this one will look really good. So let's start with that approach. And in fact, I think I did all of these that way. This one was a little short, so I added a little doodad at the top. And then these actually look like they may have been from these same strips. These were probably offcuts when I was using this paper for another project. So I am just spending a little bit of time inking because I like that look. And I'm using walnut distress oxide. I have my regular walnut too, but this one that's kind of risen to the top lately of my brown inks here. So to just get started, I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. And again, if you want to run it through your sewing machine, even after you've glued, you can, just give that glue time to dry. I would not, this is just my opinion, run it through your sewing machine if you use like a good two-sided tape or something, because that will gunk up your machine. I don't have issues when I sew on washi tape, but I do have issues when I sew like on any heavier kind of tape. All right, this is pretty. And then you can just start picking up scraps and seeing what you think might look nice. For me, the key to this type of scrap buster and making this type of ephemera, honestly, is to not overthink it. If I get too hung up trying to decide what I want to put on here, I will be here all day. And that's okay, if I want to be here all day. But I have found so often I like the things that I don't worry as much about, just as much as the ones. So again, that's an option for you to think about, but I just start getting some different shapes and some different pieces. I saw this label here and thought that this might be something fun. I don't want to cover up that rose right there too much. I'm enjoying looking at that. And getting again, a fiber, a ribbon, a ruffle, something on here, for me anyway, is just kind of taking these up a whole other notch. All right, so I'm going to do that. This is a little strange to me, but I'm going to do it because I like this, and it was laying in this pile of scraps. So there we go. It's going down. Oops, I think I'd had this under it, didn't I? See if I can get it lifted up really quick. I don't know. Sometimes that happens, and I don't know. All right, so I'm going to share something personal just because I'm still a little bit in shock that this is happening. I mean, it's not really affecting me that much personally, but I have a doctor, a gynecologist, a female doctor that I have really enjoyed having in my life for several years. And I went into my medical portal, to ask her a question and get an appointment. And she wasn't an option anymore at the practice. And so I was like, that's different. So then I decided, I'll just Google and see, because maybe she's just at a different practice or a different location, something like that. And of course, when I Googled her, I found out her license has been suspended for unethical conduct. And, it's all because it's a medical license, it's public. So I kind of, how you kind of wish you hadn't read something. And again, it's allegations, and I don't know if she actually engaged in the behavior that it's saying that she did, but I'm just heartbroken. You guys ever had this happen? And I'm going to pray for her and her family and all of those things, but I'm just in shock. And I just found out a little while ago. So again, on my mind, and I hope that's not an overshare, but if you have an extra moment, you know, I don't know, just say a quiet prayer. God knows who we're talking about. Okay, look at this. I wasn't sure I was going to want to use crowns. I hadn't even noticed this piece yet, but I kind of like that color with this, but I don't know that I need a whole strip of them. Maybe we'll just do a piece of it and see. I kind of made a tab out of this little piece of velvet with the loops. I thought that was kind of fun and cute. Maybe. All right, I'm going to try to do this. I always have to really think about what I'm doing. All right. Yay. I'm just going to glue that right there, and I may still put a different lace or ribbon too, but let's just see. I don't know why, but that just was calling out to me that that would be cute. This one would also be really cute if I stitched around on my sewing machine, and I might do that later. I think I'm going to leave that one for now. I like that, and I may add, like I said, something more later. Okay, let's put these out of the way. Whoa, they just spilled on the floor. Luckily, they're kind of in a big blob because I have not sorted through all of them yet. So it didn't really matter. Okay, so again, getting that first strip down and then having this lovely craft cardstock as the base, I think helps. You can use whatever you want as a base. I just did a file folder project, and the manila file folder, that would be really pretty as a base too, I think. So now, so you can go like all vintagey and like this, like I've been doing, but I thought it might be fun. Let's see what I have here in the scrap pile. I have a little bit of the Fussy Cuts from this digital. I thought I had the other ones too, because it would give it a completely different look if we go in a different direction with the types of papers. There's a green stripe. I'm just trying to pick some things from this pile I have laying here that might work. I think that some sheet music goes with everything, my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to use that to help fill this in, and I'm going to use a strip of this. All right, so this one's going to be different, so we'll see if we like it. Again, I do a lot of this type of crafting, but then I also will pop over to, you know, more bold and bright kind of patterns. I just saw this pretty piece on the back I didn't realize, but that's okay. All right, I'm just gonna lay this down. So instead of doing one strip, I'm kind of starting with, I'm gonna use this side because it has some words and some music. And then I'm gonna lay this down. So we're kind of getting it covered, but a little bit different approach. I do think it is amazing how what just a few scraps and a little time laying things out can do. Okay, let's use this little green flower. I don't know what happened to the other ones. I was going to use one of the butterflies, but that's okay. We'll use the flower. And I think somewhere in that basket of crazy ribbons, we'll find something that'll look fun with this. All right, and I didn't worry about getting that perfect because I knew I was going to do a nice dark ink on it. All right, so you don't really see the white anymore. All right, and then I'm going to try to decide if I just want to do something like this, just get a little portion of this to use. right? To help pull it together some. And I like these polka dots. So I just tore that tag up. And I like the word smile showing through there, so I don't want to lose it. Having trouble deciding. I'm gonna do that. And then I definitely want something else. Let's keep looking through my little piles here. Oh, here they are, look. I don't think I need it now. If I bring this color in, it kind of helps tie that one in. It's more of a bluey aqua color, not really this green, but I think it'll work. All right, I'm just gonna go for it and then hope whatever ribbon or lace I choose will help pull it together. And I'm gonna let this one hang off just a little, like that. Don't wanna cover up Smile, so I'm gonna be careful. All right. And again, these will make really easy, fun belly bands to have, again, kind of as a stash builder. All right. Crazy. Look at that flower. Wasn't thinking about it, but wouldn't that be cute right there? I'm going to save it. I'll do something like that later. All right, this is some lace. This is in the little sampler I just showed you guys. I think it's too much for that width. It's a little white. I was kind of hoping to find something a little, ooh, a little green. Let's see what this is. All right. Yeah, this is pretty. It almost looks like it's been embroidered. Let's see. Yeah, maybe a whole strip. I think I like it on this side with the flower there. Okay, I'm gonna cut it approximately the length that I need. And I just have to decide where, you know, how much of the ribbon do I want to show on the front. I think something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna start by putting some glue right there. And do it this way. Yeah, it may need something else too, but let's get this down and then we'll look at it. Okay. If you are new here, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope that you will consider subscribing and joining us. We have a lot of fun. I do lots of junk journaling paper, one-page wonders, all those kinds of projects. So you're always welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome, friend. I'm glad you're here. You guys are awesome. And having you here with me really makes a difference, and it makes me smile. So thank you. Sometimes a twine bow, right? Let's do a double one with this really skinny twine. I didn't get it going too short. Whoops. All right, let me start over. It'll be okay. All right. So I just double it over and I'm tying a bow. I just didn't leave it long enough to make a cute little bow with some tails. Just thinking it needed something else. I wasn't quite sure, but something else. Something else. Where? But where, right? Where? I think I don't like it on the flower. I think maybe right there. I don't know. There's so many places I could stick this. We're just going to go for it. All right. Yeah, I like that one a lot. I think this is pretty. All right, we're gonna let that grab. All right, so we've made 2. Let's do one more just because we can and it's fun, and I hope you guys will stay with me. So, okay, so let me show you. So now this one, see how this one's wider? And so how I did one of them is I just went ahead and did a finger tear. And I'm going to use the wider piece to get me going. All right. I'm looking at the one I just did with that green ribbon, and I don't think I inked around the base, which is okay, but it'll be hard now to get ink here without getting it all over the ribbon. And I do like some ink on these. So I'm going to, the one I'm working on now, I'm going to go ahead and ink now. I realize I probably need to cut it off just a touch. Yeah, and I don't mind that mine are all maybe just a little bit different size, height, widths, whatever. But if you want to make a set of them that are the same, of course you can do that, and that will work. Especially if you know what journal they're going to be for and you already know the size of the journal, that type of thing. I'm not really sure which way this is supposed to go. I don't think it matters. All right, glue. Here we go. Soon, very soon, I'm still waiting for some information, a few little things. I'm going to be ready to announce to you guys my first design team. I'm so excited. So I have a lovely, lovely group of ladies. I had a lot of people show interest. Thank you if you were one of those people. And if you didn't get chosen this time, I did reach out and email everybody that responded. So if you didn't hear from me, that was, let me know, because I'm pretty sure I got to everybody. But anyway, super fun things coming up, and I can't wait to share all of that with you very soon, very soon. All right, I'm thinking I've got this vellum from a project we just did recently, but I'm just not sure if I need that here. Okay, let's find something that has some words on it. So anyway, stay tuned. That should be coming in the next few days. Like I said, everybody's got to get me a little bit of information, and then I'll be ready to make an announcement on my accounts, and people hopefully will start posting some projects, and you guys will have some more content and some more creators that you can follow on some of the different social medias. So a few already have YouTube channels. Some are, mostly like on Instagram or Facebook, but hopefully there'll be something that you enjoy. And the individuals too, we're all at different stages in our journey, and I love that. I love that we're going to be able to learn from each other and help each other. And anyway, I'm just really excited and honored to have this chance to work with some great people to get to my house. That's the words that ended up on here, so we're going to leave them. That's cute. All right. I'm kind of getting, everything is kind of ending up the same shape, and that's not necessarily what I want. So I need to think about that. I'm going to add, this was a tag, and I ended up using it on several of these. All right, I'm just going to glue down. And I will find some kind of focal point here in a moment. So pretty much all of these ended up, in my mind, more with that kind of scrappy, vintagey, neutrals with a pop of color here and there, except for the one that I went. And of course, it's still very kind of vintagey and neutrals, but in a different style. All right, cute. Now let's find a fabulous something. I'm gonna go from this side and see. Here's some big yellow flowers. I think they're a little big for that. Oh, I really, really like this. Is that gonna work? Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can get some of it pulled out of here. I don't know if this was in somebody's house and they found it at an estate sale, or they cut up a bunch of things, but just amazing, right? And I love to go thrifting, and I do yard sales. Occasionally I do estate sales, but I also just go to the shops here in town. That's where I found this. So I was going to say too, I don't know if I told you guys this, my husband and I are going to be going to, I've never been, I think I've mentioned this, but anyway, to the world's longest, I think that's what it's called, yard sale. It's like over 600 miles, like from Alabama to Michigan or vice versa. And where it begins or ends, whatever, in Alabama, it's close to where my aunts are, and very close to where their vacation home is, and that we used to go to all the time before my aunt got sick. And so anyway, we are going to go for a little visit in August, and I'm just gluing this down. And so, and I'm going to do, of course, I'm not going to do all 600 miles. We are not going to Michigan, but we're going to spend a few days and have fun doing that. And I am hoping to find some really wonderful treasures that I'll be able to then come back and, you know, that I can pick and then come back and curate and add to share with you guys, and so that we have some new fun things to craft with. So that's my hope. I'm hoping there's going to be all kinds of vintagey papers or fabrics, ribbons, lace, whatever. I'm really hoping. So, all right, I think this needs a little bit of a focal point. I'm going to use one of these, and I don't even know where this came from. I apologize. Sometimes my scraps, I'm like, huh, and I don't remember. But yeah, it just needs a little something. I'm going to just glue him right there. This is one of those things, like I said, that I have fun doing. I like to get a pile done. That makes me happy. But you definitely can just keep going, right? Like, when is it done? When is it finished? All right. So these are the 3 we made together. And then these are the 3 that I had before we got started. And I love them. I hope you guys do too. I hope you'll try this out. Again, just a great way to use up some of those smaller pieces or some of those strips that you have. And again, back them on whatever you want. You could do scrapbook paper, you know, just about anything. Make them any size you want. Okay, have a great day. Until next time. Thanks for joining me, everybody.